at life for the southern people. Like a small town, nothing's real. Mama's still doing wrong. Don't tell the preacher. Nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much. I could leave it all. I'm feeling low. Find myself on a brand new road. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much, y'all. Gotta go to church on Sunday, get a dose of the southern truth. Grandma's house is just down the way, and she's missing you.
Hey everyone, this is Dave, aka the Cornbread Man, coming to you with a special feature. This is the pre-interview to the larger interview that we did with lawyer and author McCracken Poston Jr. First of all, I want to thank him from the bottom of our heart for giving us his valuable time, and also for giving us the book that tells this amazing story of Alvin Ridley and the court case. That you can't even capture it in one interview. You've got to get the book. If you haven't read the book, you don't have the book, please do. Zenith Man. I know it's available at 2 bookstores in the town of Ringo, Georgia, and also on major book retailers. You can get audio format on that as well. What I want to do in this pre-interview is there was an interview that we did with Mr. Poston a couple of weeks before the second interview. And the first interview, I purchased the book. We walked in the bookstore. We talked on the street for quite a while. And thank you so much. It was, as he said, a chance meeting. And we talked for quite a while. I expressed interest in the story, and I've always wanted to have him on the show. And we walked down the street, met up with my co-host for these interviews was Paul Putnam, with Ascending Financial Group. He had came and was meeting me there. We walked down to the bookstore, and we didn't plan it, but we thank Mr. Poston for giving us this footage and allowing us to videotape it. He just started talking, and I captured it. It's a little over 7 minutes. Then after the second interview, I went to the cemetery where Alvin was buried. I didn't know where. I'd never been there, and he told me where. And me and my son and one of my sons and 2 of my grandchildren went down, and we found the grave, and we paid our respects, and we made 3 videos there. a little bit of overlap on those as I'm capturing different thoughts as I'm there. This pre-interview to the larger interview, we'll share the 7+ minutes here in just a moment that we had, and also our time at the cemetery. Then the 8 p.m. premiere, which will follow this. This will be preparatory to that interview, which is about 50 minutes, just slightly over. And we're just going to let it run in its entirety without any interruption. And again, I hope that you will enjoy it. It covers a lot of different material. Both interviews cover different aspects. And we talked about just writing a book in general and things about this story. Didn't want to get too deep into the book because we want you to buy the book. It's a great story. You really need to read this story as it happened. And not only is it Alvin's story, but it's Mr. Poston's as well. Once again, thank you to Mr. Poston, and buy his book. It is an excellent book. And as I say in these videos, they should make a movie out of it. They may never, but it is an amazing small town story. And it has so many aspects to it. I'm just thankful to be a little part of capturing some of it here on the Southern Fried Podcast. And we hope you enjoy this, and we hope we do it the proper respect that it deserves. And those interviews and videos that we made will air now. Thank you so much.
With her family.
Right.
And a few months later, her family causes this article to be put in the local and the Chattanooga papers, saying that she was missing. Well, what the public didn't know was that they were sending sheriff deputies over there all the time. And the sheriff deputies were coming back going, hey, the lady seems okay. She wants to be with her husband.
Yeah, they were
and
alone.
so it was kind of a cat and mouse game for a while. And then something happened in the 70s that kind of caused her parents to back off. And I didn't know what, but 27 years later, she died of epilepsy. And the tabloids all over the country had this in every grocery store.
Sicko holds wife hostage for 30 years, then kills her.
Yeah. And so that was the
Did that
thought.
actually go to adjudication?
Oh yeah, I was his lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
so half
All
the
right.
book is
Wow.
half the book is the trial.
Okay.
But what made it an interesting story is the ordeal of representing Alvin. He was extremely difficult to me from my perspective.
Was he just eccentric or?
Well, that's all I could put on it at the time.
Right.
And we just went round and round, but about halfway through going round and round with him, I realized, it looks like she died of epilepsy. But the state of Georgia was saying, well, that's too much of the petechial hemorrhages around her eyes and mouth to be a seizure.
Not if it was suffocation.
But all the books were saying that looks like a classic seizure death.
Yeah.
So what happened, it was a tragic circumstance that helped, was the Olympic track star Florence Griffith Joyner died, FloJo.
Right. Yeah.
She died in September of '98.
Yeah.
We were getting ready for the trial in early January.
Right.
I got her autopsy, and she
Had the
had
same thing.
more of.
Wow.
She had more of it. So if by
Wow.
Georgia's medical standards, Virginia had been murdered, then FloJo had been brutally murdered.
Right.
And
right.
so, it seemed to work. And then the other big break happened on Thanksgiving. Alvin wouldn't let me in his house. For 14 of the 15 months, he just refused. He just said, I'll think about it. And he never
Wow.
let me. So Thanksgiving Day of 1998, my parents make an extra turkey plate. And I'm thinking, oh, that's for me. And they said, no, we want you to take this to Alvin. He doesn't have anybody anymore.
That is awesome.
Amen.
That's the last thing I wanted to do on my day off.
Right,
But
right.
I did. I took it to him.
It warmed his heart.
It opened the door.
Awesome.
And he let me inside. And
Awesome.
inside his house, I found he was making a little shrine to his wife out of it. But I found in an adjacent room what I estimate to be over 15,000 entries of her writing. and she was telling their story. And when I had an epilepsy expert to talk about the petechial hemorrhages, that's the only thing I hired him for. And the night before I put him on the stand, he said, "Is there anything else unusual about this woman?" And I said, "Yeah, she couldn't do anything without writing it down." And he said, "That's hypergraphia. It's a component of temporal lobe epilepsy." He said, "It doesn't affect what she's writing. It just tells her to write it."
It's like OCD in a way. She just has to write.
And she acquitted Alvin with their story.
Wow.
Because she was very much in love with him. She told about her family fallout. She talked about her obsession with Ron Howard, the actor, director, producer.
Yeah.
She had all these favorite TV shows that she wrote about. She wrote a lot of Robert Schuller, the Crystal Cathedral pastor, a lot of pastors. She wrote President Nixon.
Oh, really?
Because their chief complaint and what finally drove her away from her family was that they got them evicted. And her parents were sitting on the front row, and when Virginia didn't show up for the trial, the judge made Alvin send for her. And then when she showed up, she stood there in the old courtroom of the Catoosa County Courthouse and said, "I'm with my husband. That's who I want to be with." And just to make sure, he sent her back into chambers with her parents.
Amazing.
And she came out.
How old was she?
She was in her 20s by then.
Holy smokes.
Or like 2021.
Yeah.
And she, her parents pretty much left her alone. But the legacy of that initial article in 1968 and 69 turned into that because her young siblings were now carrying the band. And I got to tell you, I don't think anybody acted in an evil way.
Right.
If any of my sisters had married an odd acting guy and then it just disappeared, I'd do just what they did.
Sure.
I would be sending sheriff deputies.
Yeah.
So nobody acted
No
inappropriately.
correspondence whatsoever.
The DA, the officers, they were all acting under the best information they had at the time.
Right.
And 21 years after the trial, a juror reached out through a third party and said that she was a nurse in Alaska. Do I think Alvin is autistic? And I took Alvin to Atlanta, and at age 79, he gets his first diagnosis of autism.
Wow.
It's amazing.
And
lived his whole life.
Suffered his whole life from it.
Yeah.
And it lifted him. It amazingly.
Wow.
It made him more at ease. And I was eating lunch with the guy once a week for like
So his
20
personality
years.
had changed toward
His
you,
personality
feelings,
toward everyone changed.
Wow. That is
and,
awesome.
And what's wonderful is the heart of this community changed toward him.
Yeah.
Alvin was the boogeyman to some people. He was definitely,
I remember.
he was a pariah to everybody else. But now he was beloved. And his last 4 years, but especially the last 4 months of his life when people started reading the story, it transformed this town.
Amazing
And it's
story.
transformed him.
I look forward to having you come on. We're going to have him on the podcast. We're going to talk about
Definitely.
this. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Hey,
Hey, Dave here with the Southern Pride Podcast, and as we've said in our previous video or two, we're covering the story of Alvin Ridley, and as written by his lawyer, McCracken Poston Jr., a lawyer, author from Ringo, Georgia as well, and he's done an interview with us, a couple, and we appreciate that. And we're here at the cemetery. We wanted to see this, come see for ourselves. I've never been to this cemetery, and he talks about this, about the cemetery and the headstones which were here. And thankfully, he made sure that they had headstones. And after Alvin died, he didn't know that he put TV Repairman on his headstone. I think that's cool. Anyway, we want to encourage you to watch the interview. It's going to air this Saturday night at 8 p.m. We're going to do a live premiere of that. It's about a 50-minute interview, and we will also air with that the 7 minutes or so that he did when I was purchasing the book, and he told a little bit more of the story. We hope to have him back. We appreciate him taking his time. He's a busy man. He's passionate about this story. And as he told me today in the interview that we recorded today, he loved this man. He started out, he didn't know the man. It was an aggravation to him. But throughout the story, he says, I I'm as close to him in my heart as anybody. And I think it's a great story, and hopefully they'll make a movie about it one day. But as we come to cemeteries and pay our respects, we just don't know the story. And now we know the story of Virginia, we know the story of Alvin, and you know, never let stories go away. Tell those stories. And I think as Alvin's story showed him not to be the monster that they made him out to be, I think he would appreciate that someone cared enough to come and cover the story and continue to let people know his story, his history, and that he was just a guy like a lot of us. We've all got some problems. He was autistic, and it just caused him some problems of how he interacted with the people. But it is so many parts of the story, and I'm only scratching the surface. But Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast here with my son and grandchildren, and we're covering the story here on the ground in the cemetery here in Ringo/Tunnel Hill. And we appreciate you for watching the Southern Fried, and we'll see you next time. And look for these videos to come out before the interview on Saturday night. Thank you much. We'll see you soon. It's Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. As we've been covering the story of Alvin Ridley, as spoken through the book Zenith Man, written by author and lawyer McCracken Poston Jr. He mentioned the cemetery here and the gravestones, of which at one time there were no gravestones for his wife or Alvin's parents. I believe it was his parents. But anyway, he made sure there was gravestones, and we're going to show that in just a minute. We've got pictures, and we'll show that in just a minute as we see the gravestones here for him and his wife. And you heard Mr. Poston say he didn't know what he put on the gravestone because he left early. He just paid for it, let him put whatever he wanted to do, his business, and he put TV repairman, and you'll see that in just a second in video number 2. And then I'm going to do another video from here as we're getting ready for the premiere of this interview. You need to go get the book, Zenith Man. It's a fascinating story, local here to Ringgold, Georgia, but we're in Tunnel Hill now where he's buried. I don't think this is a Ringgold address, but it's right next to Ringgold, and it's right here in our hometown. Fascinating story, fascinating book, written by a fascinating person. McCracken Poston in his own right has covered a lot of interesting trials, and he has his own story too. And your story gets told when you write the book of someone, a memoir, as he said. And so we decided to come out today and make a visit to the grave and pay our respects as well. And in some way, I think Alvin would like that it meant something that somebody would come out and do that. Me, my son, and 2 of my grandchildren are here, and took us a while to find it. We didn't know where to look. We've never been here before. Thankfully, it wasn't acres and acres, but we did find it. We've got some pictures. I'm going to do a couple other videos here while we're here. We'll see you soon. All right, this is the grave of Alvin Ridley. You can see there his dates of birth and of death, not that long ago. And you've seen that he put TV repairman. Then we have his wife, and I'll just step over here and we'll see that. It's a little harder to see. We've been cleaning grass off of it, but Virginia Gale Ridley. And of course, what started the case. She was born in 1948 and passed in 1997, and he was accused of that. And then nearby are the graves of parents. I think that he said they were his parents. But we see those 2, and we have an American flag here. Nice touch. And anyway, we're down here in the cemetery. We just want to do this part for the story and to pay our respects as well.